So the first thing that we're working at in Ottawa Housing Next is that it's actually quite a simple concept. It's just really hard to get done. And that is that in our community, we know to keep our businesses viable that we need different levels of income. We can't have everybody earning 6 figures or the company would go bust. So we've got to have these different levels of income to be able to stay competitive. But if we're going to do that, then we have to create community opportunities that are priced for those individuals. We need to have the houses on the lake that are worth $5 million that people who earn that much can buy, but we also need to have 2 and 3 bedroom apartment rentals that are priced the way we know they need to be priced. And it's an interesting philosophy. What if we built neighborhoods that if 35% of our population earns below the threshold, can we build a neighborhood that has 35% of its housing that is appropriately priced? We don't mean subsidized, we mean appropriately priced and appropriately sized. It would seem, and this is an analysis, it's not, we can't look at that family and say, you need a rental, because that's not what we do, but it would seem that there needs to be a fair mix of appropriately priced, appropriately sized rentals, and a fair mix of appropriately priced and appropriately sized housing. We have groups that are working on what incentives can we provide developers, what tax credits can we find for developers, how can we put people with land who are interested in doing this together with people who are interested in building it, together with incentives that would work for them. And that's what's really been missing in our community, is all of those things coming together. So it would be interesting to think if there were incentives or legislation, because I don't want bigger government telling us what we can build. But if there was legislation up front that said, you've got to try and match what you're building with what the community needs, that would make sense. How you get that across, how you pay for that, how you legislate that, that's not what I do for a living. If we're making decisions to appropriately reflect the community, then if that decision is to decrease rentals, then that works. If we're trying to decrease rentals for the purpose of moving a population somewhere else, then that won't work, because that won't help the businesses. A business needs people to be close enough that they can reliably show up to work all of the time, and if we turn a whole set of neighborhoods into ownership only, and then those ownerships become unaffordable, then we're going to concentrate lower income individuals out to wherever they can get the rental, or out to wherever they can afford to buy that home. There is a fear coming down the pipeline for me, in that, let's say that the 35% number drops and we're able to get a group of those people up above the ALICE threshold, or provide them appropriate housing so it's now affordable. Doesn't mean their income has to change, but it's now affordable. Well, this county could be 400,000 people in 20 years. If the percentage drops, but the number of people increases, you don't have to be a math major, which I'm not, but you don't have to be a math major to realize that even though we might be solving the problem, it's going to numerically get worse as the community grows and we continue to build housing at a disproportionate level. We're going to need more and more of the low-income housing, probably at a faster scale than even we can move to now. We know what the appropriate mix is because we know what the community is made up of. We know the 5 quintiles of income, and we know the family sizes that are related to some of those incomes. So on paper, if we were creating the universe today and we wanted mixed income neighborhoods, we've got the numbers. Each community needs to have this kind of pricing structure. For this many people, this pricing structure. For this many people, we need to have a mixture of 2, 3, 4 bedroom and 1 bedroom efficiencies. We need to have that mix. The question is, how do you get there from here? And the second question is, does everybody want that? Maybe not everybody wants to live in a mixed community. Maybe people want to live all with houses that look like theirs.